Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Prince William County School Board to order. Pursuant to School Board Policy 139, Board of School Board member participation in meetings by electronic communication. School Board member Diane Ralston will participate in this meeting through electronic means for her home due to a medical condition that prevents her physical attendance. The clerk will so note this in the minutes of the meeting. A motion is in order for the approval of the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the meeting agenda as recommended.
Do I have a second?
Dr. Lateef?
Ms. Zargarpur.
I second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Oh, Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes. Okay, moving on to the motion to enter closed sessions. The motion's in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that pursuant Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711 and Section 2.2-3712, that the Prince William County School Board enter a closed session for the following reasons. 1, to discuss with staff the appointment, transfer, release, assignment, and promotion of specific officers and employees under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A. 2, to conduct the annual performance evaluation of the Ombudsman under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1. 3, to discuss and take action on a student disciplinary matter relating to an expulsion appeal for a specific student and to receive legal advice regarding same under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A2 and 8. 4, to discuss and consult with legal counsel regarding requests for religious exemptions pertaining to specific students under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A2 and 8. 5, to discuss with Division Counsel and staff actual or probable litigation and specific legal matters involving specific staff and students under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A7 and 8. 6, to discuss and receive briefings by staff members related to the security of school facilities, the safety of persons using facilities, and actions taken to respond to such matters where discussion in an open meeting would jeopardize the security of such facilities pursuant Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A19, and 6, to consult with legal counsel and receive legal advice regarding Prince William County school policies under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A8.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams?
Second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
The Prince William County School Board will now enter closed session and return open session in 1 hour. The Prince William County School Board will now re-enter open session, and a motion is in order for the closed session certification. Vice Chair, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that pursuant Virginia Code Section 2.2-3712, the closed session of the Prince William County School Board meeting of September 7th, 2022, be certified by adopting the following resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Prince William County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard and discussed or considered by the school board.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Zargarpur.
I second.
Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Moving on to the closed session, action items and motions in order for 9.01, approval of appointments and releases. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the appointments and releases of specific employees as presented in closed session.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
Second?
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Moving on to 9.02, approval of the annual performance evaluation, 22-23 goals for the, actually, we're going to skip that one. I'm sorry, I'm reading that. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. We're going to move on. 9.03, appeal of the school board disciplinary committee's expulsion of student MS 22-169. Motions in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. O'Teef. I move that based upon review of information provided in support of the student's appeal of the August 10th, 2022 decision of the School Board Disciplinary Committee and the record before the School Board Disciplinary Committee, and the Prince William County School Board denies the student's appeal and confirms that the School Board Disciplinary Committee's expulsion of student MS 22-169, and the School Board also approved the conditions for readmission as contained in the SMAPD letter and eligibility to receive educational services in the computer-based instruction program via remote access only during the term of expulsion. The student's program placement at the time of readmission is determined by the IEP team, and the final determination for the site location for the implementation of the program identified by the IEP team is determined by the SMAPD. The student shall be eligible to petition for readmission effective 365 days from the date of the School Board Disciplinary Committee's decision. Did I read everything correctly?
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Arkapour.
I second.
Okay. And to clarify, Mr. Anderson, this is to uphold the recommendation of the disciplinary committee, correct? And to maintain the expulsion? Yes, Mr. So a yes vote will be to do that? Okay, just for the board members to be clear on that. Any further discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 1 abstain. Ms. Williams, motion passed.
We're going to go to 9.04 on approval of request for religious exemptions. Motions in order. Ms. Jackson.
I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the request for religious exemption from the compulsory school attendance for case numbers RE22-1, RE22-2, RE22-3, RE22-4.
A second?
Second.
Ms. Chassie seconds the motion. Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to move on now. That wraps up our closed session action items. We will be returning to closed session after the meeting to finish a couple other agenda items that we had announced that we'd be going back in, and we'll be reading that, going back into closed session later. At this point, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Ms. Danya Sharifi of Gainesville High School to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's not you, Danya, is it? Yeah, it is? Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, wow. Welcome. Fantastic. Outstanding. Okay, wonderful. We're going to move on to our thriving future focus. Okay, here we go. Let me, actually, before I move on to that, I do need to make a note. First of all, welcome back, everyone, to the 22-23 school year. We've had two former school board members pass away recently. We just wanted to recognize them and have a moment of silence. Mr. William Hunley of the Coles District served from 1988 to 1995. Mr. Steve Keene of the Woodbridge District served from 1996 to 2000. The board and the administration wishes to offer our deepest condolences and deep gratitude for this time they served our school division and for the work they've done subsequent. So if we can have a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Now we're going to move on to our Thriving Futures Focus, and good evening. We're pleased to continue our Launching Thriving Futures Focus this school year to recognize several outstanding students and employees. Miss Adele Jackson, Brentsville Magisterial District Representative and Vice Chair, will recognize the award-winning Brentsville District High School Turf Grass Program. Mrs. Jackson.
Thank you. Good evening. It's exciting to see everyone today. The Brentsville District High School Turf Grass Program has won several awards, including the Sports Turf Managers Association of the 2021 National Field of the Year in the Sporting Grounds category. It should be no surprise that the students in this program continue to excel. Recently, Liz Rice, a current junior in the program, as well as Julie Kessler, a graduate of the program, participated in the first ever all-female grounds crew in sports field management history. They traveled to Greensville, North Carolina, and a few weekends ago to volunteer for the grounds crew for the Softball Little League World Series. Excellent. Additionally, under the leadership of Drew Miller, Program Director, Brentsville Turfgrass students will join the Carolina Panthers ground crew in October to convert the Major League Soccer field into a National Football League field. I would also like to point out that the Brentsville Turfgrass program is also featured on the front cover of September 2022 issue of Sports Field Management magazine. Congratulations. I don't want to get too many pages. It is my pleasure, my absolute pleasure, to recognize Dr. Catherine Meintz as well as Mr. Miller, the program director, who will come forward right now to share information about this outstanding program and students.
Thank you guys for having me tonight. 2 weeks ago now, I think it might be 3 weeks now, down in Greenville, North Carolina, there was a transformative event that took place for the first all-female grounds crew. I got a phone call about a month ago about individuals that would be interested in joining the crew. And Liz Rice behind me was extremely excited about the opportunity to join this crew. The event was one of the most incredible moments of my life to be able to witness it and cover it with our classroom podcast. We've had 30-year professionals who never thought a moment like this would ever occur. To have that moment with the crew, to build a family within this industry, and to showcase what's possible for students like ours was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Being able to connect with friends who are in the industry, to be able to bring our students into the industry firsthand to see what's possible. That's what we're really excited about at the beginning of October, is to immerse our students in the National Football League, first program, I believe, at a high school level to do that. And to show our students that our classroom is teaching what they're going to be doing at that level. Everything that we do in the program is at that standard. Being a former NFL groundskeeper, everything I teach is to get our students to that standard so that they're prepared to work for organizations like that. Julie Kessler, the other student who was on the crew, alumni, current Virginia Tech student for turfgrass management, worked for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. So that's what our program is all about, and providing that opportunity. And these kids are going to do incredible work down there and continue to do incredible work in the community, helping different schools get prepared for their fall seasons and our own fields and facilities with everything that's going on. I just want to thank you guys for so much for recognizing their work and all that they do, because it's all our students, it's all in them. So thank you guys so much.
Dr. Mines, do you have anything you want to add? You said it all? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for coming and for everybody for showcasing what's possible. Very proud. Thank you.
Mr. Miller, Principal Mites, I've been over there a number of times. I was just there yesterday watching field hockey on the fabulous field you have over there, and it is first in class, and we congratulate you. I want the public to know that Brentsville District High School's program, the horticulture program, their program with the greenhouse, their program on the turf science, all of this work they're doing is first in class in the nation. And it is a top-notch program that continues to receive national accolades and really is a model for the work that we want to do moving forward. And if you had any opportunities or have an opportunity to learn more about it, please do. It's a wonderful thing. They're doing some great work out there, and I'll put in a plug for their spring plant sale that the students grow this amazing stuff in their greenhouse, and the stuff gets sold out really fast. So be on Twitter, watch when that sale happens. I've planted many of their plants, so thank you all very much. I will turn this now over to Superintendent Dr. McDade to conclude this portion of the meeting. Dr. McDade.
Thank you so much, and I'll just echo what Dr. Lateef said. It is a first-in-class program, and Mr. Miller was the first educator in Prince William County to reach out to me as a new superintendent and invite me to come over and see the program. It was one of the first programs that I saw when I came on board, and I was so impressed. I'm incredibly proud of the work that everyone is doing with the program. The students, you all are exceptional, and you should be extremely and incredibly proud of what you're doing, and you have such a bright future ahead. So I want to say congratulations to everyone, our students, the entire team. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for your passion and dedication to the program. Dr. Mines, I know you always kind of sit in the background like just let them do it. But I think Mr. Miller will agree with the fact that it does take a principal who is supportive and an advocate for the program. So I want to thank you for creating the conditions for the students to thrive the way that they do at Brentsville High School. So congratulations, and then extra special shout out to Liz Rice and Julie Kessler for your participation in making history this past summer, and that is something that is definitely PWCS proud, a moment for us all to be proud of. So I want to wish the Tiger Turf program luck in preparing the NFL field for the Carolina Panthers this October. This really is a historic accomplishment that highlights the importance of CTE classes, as well as how these programs can help our students really create a thriving future for themselves and their communities. So again, congratulations. We are so proud of you. Continue to make history and make great things happen.
Thank you, Dr. McDade. Those are terrific remarks. Before I will ask you to come up and take a picture, but I want each student to come up to the microphone, introduce yourself, and tell us what grade you're in.
My name's Sam. I'm a senior at Brentsville High School.
Full name, Sam. Come on, man. You're on TV.
Samuel Robert Heaton.
All right.
My name is Will Johnson, and I'm a senior at Brentsville.
My name's Dakota Garber. I'm also a senior at Brentsville.
My name's Elizabeth Rice. I'm a junior at Brentsville. My name's Sydney Colgan, and I'm a senior at Brentsville.
My name's Zach Sedmak, and I'm a junior at Brentsville.
My name's Jack Cundiff, and I'm a junior at Brentsville.
Wonderful. Round of applause for these fine folks. And I won't let you go without a last bit. The program has graduated terrific students who've gone on to do amazing things, as Mr. Miller said, and they've gone on to go to universities like Virginia Tech, Ohio State, Penn State in their turf science programs, horticulture programs, and they've gone into all different agriculture and mining schools and universities. And so we can't thank you enough for carrying the name Prince William County forward. And so please join us up front for a quick picture, and thank you all very much again.
Nope. Someone's got to take a picture. Oh my God.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll be moving on now to the adoption of the consent agenda. A motion is in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the public meeting consent agenda as recommended.
I have a second.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Williams,
I second.
any discussion? Please vote. I'm sorry. Discussion?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to, while the focus is always on safety and things of that nature, I often bring to attention some of the people that we don't spend a lot of time talking about, and I just want to recognize that, we have on here for National Security Officer Week, and I want to take that opportunity to thank them for all the work that they do, as well as our cafeteria workers and all of our unsung heroes, as Ms. Jessie would say, that we don't often talk about enough, but that deserve all the time and attention that we spend on others and other individuals. Sorry if you didn't hear me. I was talking about security officers, our cafeteria staff, and all of the people, the unsung heroes that we don't talk about on a regular basis, but deserve a little bit of special attention as much as we can give them, as often as we can give them. So thank you.
Ms. Wall.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I just wanted to point out we are going to be appointing or reappointing a number of individuals for some of our advisory committees, Career and Technical Education, Safe Schools Advisory, and Special Education Advisory Committees. I just want to thank all of the individuals who have stepped up and answered the call to serve on these committees. It's not a paid position, it's just time and effort, which is, I say just time, but it takes a lot of time and effort, and their expertise and willingness to serve in an advisory capacity is so very much appreciated, and I appreciate all the people who have served at my behest on these committees, and I'm sure, I just wanted to recognize them for that service.
Okay, please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote? Ms. Ralston, you say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. And good. Ms. Ralston.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Okay. All right, moving on to citizen comment time. Those citizens who've signed up in advance with the clerk may address the school board this evening when they're called to the podium. The citizen comment period for regular school board meetings is limited to 1 hour. First half hour reserved for comments on agenda items only, and the second half hour for comments on agenda items or other topics germane to the operations and policies of PWCS. Citizens signed up to speak on the agenda items must speak to the agenda item they have identified, or they'll be asked to step down. We have 2 speakers on agenda items, 7 on non-agenda. Speakers have 3 minutes to speak. Please use proper decorum manners while at the podium, or you'll be asked to step aside. We ask that the audience please be respectful of each speaker and refrain from any clapping, jeering, or cheering to avoid disruption of the meeting. If you do not do so, the board will recess, and I will ask the room to be cleared to restore order. When I call your name, please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Our first 2 speakers will be Fred Chin and Sandra Kern. Fred Chin, if you want to come up to the podium. Fred Chin. Okay. Sandra Kern.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Kern. My address is on file, and I thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I am a SPED parent in the wonderful Potomac District, represented by the wonderful Mr. Wilk, who supports our children. I would like to address the agenda item 1210, October being recognized as Dyslexia Awareness Month. As a parent and advocate with a student with dyslexia diagnosed, I hold the ability and skill of reading very important in education. 1 in 5 students are dyslexic, and sometimes the ratio seems even higher in socioeconomically challenged areas. I reach out and want more to recognize there are great needs to having reading skills. Daily, we read signs, menus, recipes, directions, voters' cards, job applications, or even laws in small part of our everyday life. Parents as partners need awareness for their children to receive the highest level of supports. Every child must be provided a free and appropriate public education, also known as FAPE. Lessons in reading that supports the science of reading is essential for success. Please to continue to monitor behaviors, as these behaviors may be issues that could potentially be the needs of your child not being met, and reading is what we found in our home. If there is no foundation for Cat in the Hat, how can we expect success with Hamlet? We've rebuilt for 6 years coming. Do early testing. Do not wait if you think there are shortcomings. We learn late, and every year it's rebuilding. And if one bright young reader can come and emerge from receiving supports from our Prince William County school system, that's one more life learner. October is Dyslexia Awareness Month. For us, it's every month. And I appreciate the board's recognition. We must all see the impact the future holds for future readers, because reading is a life skill. Good luck on your new year. Thank you.
So no clapping, jeering, or cheering. Jalen Custis, Marianne Jensen, Aurora Hurtado, Paul Huber, and Kenneth Narr will be the next 5. Jalen Custis.
I'm sorry. Good evening, Superintendent McDay, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board. My name is Jalen Custis. I live in the Woodbridge District. I'm a recent graduate of Forest Park High School. After graduating high school, I've gotten heavily involved within my community, especially in the aspect of education. I want to thank you all for your hard work throughout the summer and for bringing us to a new school year. I would like to leave you with this. A parent shouldn't have to send their child 20 minutes or more away from home for a great education. We need to have the same opportunities throughout the entire county. My name is Jalen Custis, and I reside in the Woodbridge District.
Marianne Jensen.
Good evening. I'm grateful for this opportunity to address you here again, once in person, only this time as the chair of the newly created Prince William chapter of Moms for Liberty. I requested a speaking spot because I'm sure many of you have heard about our organization from various sources other than one of its members. I wanted to directly share with you some facts about this wonderful community-based organization that represents the interests of parents and students from all over the county. While the past 2 years have been difficult for all of us, the negative educational experiences endured by a number of children led many parents, including myself, to seek after more effective ways to become involved, work with school boards proactively, and to better advocate for our children. Moms for Liberty provides us that opportunity. Moms for Liberty is a nonprofit organization that welcomes all that have a desire to stand up for parental rights. The founders are former school board members who are committed to unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights, starting with their local officials. We engage our communities and elected leaders on key issues impacting our families. And one of our founding missions is to hold elected officials accountable at all levels of government. As the Moms for Liberty Prince William County Chair, I have the distinct privilege to work with the diverse membership of parents who come from different ethnic, religious, and political backgrounds. We are committed to working together with you on issues ranging from falling test scores to combating political indoctrination in the classroom. We believe that it is important to hire educators who will teach our children science, mathematics, grammar, literacy, and accurate U.S. history. We value school sports and that provide students fair and safe competition. We support these things because we've seen the great rewards that come from them. They also help ensure our society has a foundation that lasts. We also believe that the best path forward is one built on meaningful, in-person communication like that which Jen Wall and Adele Jackson have had with us, the parents.
We look forward to working with all of you constructively to ensure we are raising one of the best educated generations of children in the nation. That's a win for everybody involved, especially Prince William County. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Aurora Hurtado?
Good evening, I'm Aurora Hurtado, resident of the Occoquan District. And even though I'm a newly hired school employee, this evening I'm here as a parent of 2 Old Bridge Elementary students and as a member of my community. Back in June, a few days into our summer vacation, I learned about the published new bell times for our school. Our bell times had changed from an 8:35 morning bell time with a 3:15 dismissal to a 9:20 morning bell time with a 4 p.m. dismissal. That is 45 minutes. This was particularly shocking considering the amount of time and effort that the schools put into the community surveys regarding bell times, and knowing that the overwhelming response from our school community was to keep the bell times the same, or worst case scenario, move them to an earlier time. I also failed to see how assigning our school bell time to a school located less than a mile from ours would be a solution for anything. I appreciate Mrs. Jessie's support and efforts to help us find answers in a timely manner, and I appreciate Ms. Botello's email in which she reassured us that our bell times for this school year would not change. But reading between the lines, her email stated that the reason for the change to be reversed was the lack of proper communication to staff and community, and I didn't find any reassurances that our bell times would not go through this drastic change in the future. So here I am looking for that reassurance. I understand that the school's inability to attract and retain qualified bus drivers has resulted in a serious transportation crisis, but the burden of that crisis shouldn't result in 45-minute changes for an entire community. Quick teacher retention tip here: do not change their schedules by 45 minutes and expecting that simply communicating it should be okay. We have teachers in other counties. We have students who would have been in SAC for 3 hours before school starts on that new bell time. We have parents who work rigid schedules. We have students with siblings in middle and high school, and by pushing our schedules by 45 minutes, we are robbing them of valuable family and sports time together. I understand that a 15 or maybe even a 20-minute change needs to be communicated with advance notice to staff and the community. But a 45-minute change cannot simply be communicated. It needs to be discussed and agreed on. And I would really appreciate any reassurances that our community will not be singled out for a 45-minute change instead of having those in charge trying to balance the schedules in a way that is fair. And since I have time, I am concerned about the recent round-up in which Chairman Latif mentioned that he's committed with families and students to provide the best educational experience. Educators were not mentioned, and they're a critical part of that equation. My kids are successful because their educators are part of the decisions day in and day out. Thank you.
Paul Huber? Paul Huber? Kenneth Narr? And then after Kenneth Narr will be Brian Fields and Jessica Newton. Mr. Narr.
Good evening, Ken Narr, Gainesville District. Our educators are some of the most competent and dedicated professionals in our county. They are entrusted with our future, with shaping our youth for the challenges of tomorrow. We continuously hear about the great teachers, counselors, bus drivers, and individual school workers in this county. We repeatedly hear how these committed individuals love working in our schools and teaching our children. This school year, we had to hire 90 to 100 unlicensed and uncertified teachers despite several months of hard and aggressive recruitment. The incentives offered to potential educators and staff members were insufficient to draw them into our fold. The unlicensed and uncertified individuals hired will surely do their very best and will truly care about our youth, but they are not professionally trained or evaluated educators. The national shortage of educators and staff personnel is more acute in Northern Virginia. 6 of the top 15 richest counties in the nation are in Northern Virginia. Loudoun and Fairfax County pay their teachers 15 to 20% more than their Prince William equivalents. Simple supply and demand economics tell us Prince William County is currently unable to compete for the limited number of high-value, low-density professionals. Our raises must exceed Our neighboring school systems raises by 5% for the next 3 to 5 years simply to catch up. Will more pay improve the education our certified and licensed teachers are and have been providing? Will higher paid bus drivers be any more safe on the road? Will the cafeteria workers add any more love into the children's meals? I think the answer to all these questions is emphatically no. To say yes to any of these questions disrespects who they are or what they do for our community. It dishonors them as true professional educators. They give their minds, hearts, and souls to our youth. However, a higher wage will tell them we appreciate their devoted service and continued sacrifice. It will attract additional highly skilled educators to our schools, which will decrease the workload on our current teachers and staff. It will allow more of our teachers and staff to live in our community. These enhancements will also allow Dr. McDade to fully implement our new amazing strategic plan. Prince William County needs to significantly raise its commercial tax base in order to successfully compete for these high-demand individuals. Without a significant increase in the commercial tax revenue, we will continue to have hundreds of unfilled positions and overworked personnel. We cannot sincerely bargain, individually or collectively, without sufficient revenue. We must address this issue immediately. Thank you for service to our youth.
Thank you. Brian Fields.
Good evening. Brian Fields, Councilman, Town of Dumfries. Many of you I know, good evening, good evening, good evening. If I start calling names, I'm quite sure I missed someone. I'm bringing attention to the Prince William County's summer school program and summer school graduation. This past graduation this summer, I was able to attending as a mentor to a student that I mentored through high school. The venue was Garfield High School on August the 4th. Students were to arrive at 5:30, and the parents were left waiting outside for an hour and a half or more after they dropped the students off. The temperature of that day was in the 90s. Rain coming, storms coming. I knocked on the door and asked, I said, hey, there's a storm coming, lightning is coming. I asked 3 times. And one of the answers that I got was, you can wait in your cars. Highly unacceptable. Upon finally, I think the police department saw that it was raining, starting to rain, and lightning in the area, let all the guests and the parents in the building. I did not expect to be crammed into a gymnasium. Though the ceremony was nice, and we applaud our summer school graduates, I do believe a better venue would be more appropriate for our recent graduates. Do they not deserve the highest of prestige as people that graduate in the springtime, and their graduations are held at a very nice venue? I think the summer school graduation program and their graduation should be held at just as nice of a venue. I witnessed handicapped people looking for places to sit, and they had no places to sit. It even disturbed me to the fact that I asked a young lady, did someone ask you to move? She said, yes. And I said, but you're still sitting there. And the person in the wheelchair was right beside her. The caretaker was behind her. Didn't have the audacity to get up and move, so the caretaker of the person in the wheelchair could sit right beside them. Other parents were disturbed. And as I looked around, I couldn't help but notice that the majority of the attendees present were Latino and Black. I wonder. We can do better. This is Prince William County, and our students that graduate in our summer school programs, we can do a lot better for them so they can have the highest prestige and the highest honor on that very special day for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Newton.
Okay, hi. My name is Jessica Newton. I'm here as a parent in the Tyler Elementary School District. I'm deeply concerned about the proposed data center campuses near these schools and their impact on the quality of daily life for parents or for students at Pace and Tyler. This is not about data centers in rural space. This is about how potential industrial campuses will affect thousands of students. These data center campuses, as proposed, will contain multiple data center buildings from 65 to 110 feet tall with only a 50 to 100 feet buffer from our schools. That is barely a third of the length of a football field. That's not enough of a buffer to protect students from the impact of these developments. Data center campuses take multiple years to build out and require blasting to get through the limestone to provide support for these massive buildings. Construction noise will be ongoing for years. How is this equitable to our students who are trying to learn? What about our students with IEPs and noise sensitivities? How will this constant noise impact their learning? Construction noise cannot be mitigated. Construction traffic over many years will create a dangerous environment for students walking to school and our buses trying to get in and out of our schools. Now, once these buildings are built, what steps are being taken to ensure there is no noise impact on our neighboring students or residents? In the Great Oaks community, there is a single Amazon data center 600 feet from homes, and the noise readings in those neighborhoods are currently at a level that is so loud you can call the county police. Now, next door to Pace and Tyler, they are proposing multiple buildings with only a 50 to 100-foot buffer from our schools. How will that impact our youngest learners? I wish I could say these two schools are the only buildings impacted by industrial growth, but right now, the county has approved or is in process of approving data center campuses next to Tyler, Pace West, Piney Branch, Christopher Young Elementary School, Ellis Elementary School, and Unity Reed High School. Where is the consideration for our students? Last March, Dr. Lateef had the audacity to inappropriately endorse a highly controversial data center project that is completely unrelated to our schools. Where is your comment now, Dr. Lateef? When will you put the needs of our students first? I'm asking the school board to consider issuing a statement to our Board of County Supervisors in opposition to these developments. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which will be 1401, proposed sale of VSPA bonds for the fall of 2022. Dr. McDade?
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. At this time, I would like to call forward Mr. John Wallingford, our Chief Financial Officer, and he will come forward to discuss the proposed sale of Virginia Public School Authority bonds for the fall of 2022.
Thank you, Dr. McDade. About this time every year, you see me come forward to bring to you an item for the sale of debt for the purpose of supporting our capital improvements program. This year, we're bringing forward for information an item requesting the sale of $44 million, a little over $44 million in debt through the Virginia Public School Authority, the VPSA.
Questions, Ms. Williams?
Good evening, Mr. Wallingford. How are you?
Good evening. How are you this evening?
Good. So I generally, when it comes to finance issues, like to ask you the question of, could you in layman's terms explain what it is that we're doing for our general public, and also, because I'm getting hip to this game after sitting here for a while, I'm going to play stand in for Mr. Trenum, who's no longer with us, with the glint in my eye now, and explain what makes this significant and why, if you're a finance person, this would be exciting.
For finance people, this is an exciting event. The sale of bonds is analogous to taking out a mortgage on a home. We sell debt or bonds. That's the same as a mortgage. We get the cash, and we use that to provide cash to support the CIP, the Capital Improvements Program. This year, like last year, we actually have decided to reduce the sale of debt by $30 million. That is the really exciting part of this issuance. The savings that we will realize over these 2 years, last year's reduction and this year's reduction, approaches $20 million in interest savings over the 20-year term of this mortgage or of this debt. So this is a very exciting event, and for those of us who spend our time with numbers, we enjoy this outcome too.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Wallingford, I want to commend you all and the superintendent. This is extremely, this is really good news. It's extremely responsible. And just give me an idea, last year's bond sale was also less than normal. What was last year's bond sale?
So last year's bond sale started at about $124 million and was reduced over the period from coming here to the actual issuance because of savings in projects and an actual cash to capital, an increase in cash to capital of about $30 million, just like we're doing this year. So we went from 124 down to about $60 million.
And over the last few years, prior to, say, 2 or 3 years ago, we were on average borrowing, selling bonds for about $115, $130 million a year?
That's correct.
That's right. So last year's sale was $90 million, and we had a record interest rate on that, on last year's. Is that correct?
Yes, the interest cost, the true interest cost on our debt last year was under 2%, which is an astonishing number. It was about 1.85%. If you could get that on your house, you'd be happy.
Yeah, and that in and of itself saves us a lot of money. So
That's
last
correct.
year, reducing the bond sale to a lower number, so borrowing less and getting a great interest rate saves a lot of money for the school division moving forward.
That is
In
correct.
debt payments. And then this year, we've gone from our normal 110, 120, from 90 last year to $44 million in borrowing.
We actually started at about $75 million and have reduced it to $44 million, about a $30 million reduction.
And as you pointed out, about $20 million savings over the course of the life of the loan.
That's correct.
bond
The
sale.
interest rates will be higher this year,
Yeah.
but we're still going to realize, because of the reduction of the 2 years, we'll still realize a little over $20 million in savings and interest costs.
So, the reason I bring up all these questions is those savings can then be poured back into the school system in cash, unrestricted use, correct, Dr. McDade? Yeah. So we're not bound to, like when we borrow money, we can only use it for capital construction,
That's correct.
typically new projects.
That's correct.
When we save money, we can allocate that money towards unrestricted uses. We can put it in the classroom, hire more faculty, all of those types of things. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
No restrictions on that.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is really good news, as Ms. Williams points out, just very responsible, and I really appreciate the hard work that you all have done over the course of the last few years in looking at our long-term capital improvement plan and continuing, because, and it's something for everyone to understand, while we're reducing our borrowing, we're not really changing our capital improvement plan. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So that is holding steady. So all the projects that we plan on building that we believe we need based on enrollment and growth and, improvements, we will be able to do.
That's
So
correct.
thank you. So I think it's really important for the public to understand that the finance office, and by the way, I understand we just received another award in the finance office for, what was the award from? For first in class in what category?
Is for excellence in financial reporting. It's an award for our year-end financial statements.
Yeah. And then the reason all of this is important is because this helps continue to allow the county to continue to have their AAA bond rating, because we make up a larger portion of the budget than the county budget. And so that AAA bond rating is very important to us as well, extremely important.
The AAA is extremely important to both them and us, yes.
And it allows us to get those really good interest rates.
That's
right?
correct.
All right. Well, the reason I go through this exercise every year, I do enjoy it, as Ms. Williams does. It's very important for the citizens and everyone to understand that, we've been committed to saving money. We've committed to reducing borrowing. We've been committed to continuing to do the projects we need to do. And we've done it in the most fiscally responsible way, and that's proven by the accolades you all continue to receive and the AAA bond rating we continue to have. And that is terrific, and good work in your department, and Dr. McDade, thank you very much. Any further questions for Mr. Wallingford? We're not voting on this. This is for information
This is
only?
for information tonight, yes.
Okay, are we voting on this next time, or no?
That's correct.
No, we are voting on it next time to
Yes.
authorize you to go out and make the purchase.
That's correct.
Or to make the sale. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Wallingford.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 1501, we have the Office of Chief Information Officer and Legislative Priorities. Dr. McDade.
Thank you. I would like to bring forward our Chief Information Officer, Mr. Matt Guilfoyle, to share information on our 2023 legislative priorities.
Good evening. I'm pleased to share with you this evening our proposed legislative priorities for the 2023 General Assembly session that will begin this January. This evening, I'm joined by Mr. Jim Council, our representative in Richmond for almost the past 15 years, we think. We weren't sure, but we think 15. The complete legislative priorities can be found on the board docs item. This evening they are on for information, and then they will be placed on the consent agenda for the next meeting. Our priorities remain much the same as in previous years. Our top priority remains a focus on equitable funding and resourcing our schools and instructional staff. This includes a focus on the standards of quality, the SOQs, and the funding associated with those. We are also focused on preventing unfunded mandates, no matter how well-intentioned, including those that might place additional burdens on our schools or on our teachers. We also have a couple of new additions to highlight this year to our legislative priorities. First, we've added support for any bills that can help us to hire teachers faster. This is especially focused around the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact, which would help with reciprocity with other states, as well as any other measures that can help us address the critical shortage in the Commonwealth's education workforce. And also, at the request of parents and guardians, we've added support for a bill to define in-person as to encompass synchronous remote education with regard to the parent requirement for driver education. Right now, it's required that parents attend that in person. That is unique to our jurisdiction. Much of the rest of the state has the ability to actually do that online, and that actually is a burden for our families, and so we're seeking the flexibility to improve equitable access for our families to meet that requirement. We will present, as we've done in previous years, we'll present these priorities to our delegation at an event in the late November, early December timeframe. And then, of course, I know that the school board, many of you come down to the General Assembly with Mr. Council in January, where we will personally meet with our delegation as well as other members of the General Assembly. I'd like to now just give Mr. Council an opportunity just to give his brief comments on his perspectives of the upcoming session.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, school board members. It's a pleasure being here tonight, and I really look forward to representing Prince William in the 2023 session. Also, Dr. McDade, it's a pleasure meeting all the new faces on your administrative team. Glad I'm here tonight. Just one brief observation on the state of affairs in Richmond, and some of this may be old news because it's about 2 weeks old. But at the moment, the Commonwealth finds itself at the end of the most recent fiscal year with a surplus of $3 billion. That's 3 with a B. A big number. Now, about $1 billion of that was anticipated, so it's already been baked into our new biennial budget. But the net result is there's about $2 billion to fight over starting in January. Now, I wish I could be optimistic that I think K-12 will really share in that, but the governor addressed the 2 money committees, House Appropriations and Senate Finance, about 10 days ago, and I can't tell you how pleased all of them were, rightly or wrongly, with everything they've done for K-12 funding in the brand new biennial budget. So they think they've already done that job for us. So it's going to take a real sales job to get more money out of them for K-12. One place I am optimistic, and this is noted in your priorities, last year we had an ambitious goal of doing away with the support cap ratio. We didn't get quite there, but we made good progress. We got 3 or 4 positions removed from the ratio, which benefits all the local school divisions. So I'm hoping we will really bring that one item back and focus on that and make a lot of headway on our long-term goal of getting rid of the ratio altogether. Mr. Chairman, if anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to respond.
No, I think, Mr. Counsel, that if you can even get that this year, that would be outstanding. I mean, that will help us out a lot. And if you want to just explain what that means, just so the general public, you know, so the support cap on positions was something that came in during the recession.
If you go back to, I think it was 2007, 2008, it was the Kane administration when there really was a shortage of funding and we were in the middle of a recession. And so one of the things they did for K-12 funding was to implement a ratio of support cap, and that was the maximum that the state would fund to the localities for support positions. And it's been there since 2008. And finally, with a lot of work and a lot of money being available, last year it caught a good optimism and good support for completely doing away with the cap. As I mentioned, we only made some headway, but we did improve our position. So I think the sentiment is still there. And as I mentioned, there's plenty of money this time. So again, it would probably be a reach to expect us to do away with the cap altogether, but I think we can at least get some more positions removed from it.
And when you mean positions removed from it, that means we'd get more funding per student we have,
That's correct.
right?
Yeah.
So currently, for so many students, you get support for so many positions, and there's a cap on that. And last year, you were able to remove some of those positions to lower the cap, or to raise the cap, lower the cap, well, I guess, improve the cap. Let's just say
The ratio stays the same.
we improved.
But you have removed
Right.
from the formula the number of support positions that are subject to the ratio, if that
Those were
helps.
funded then differently from,
Correct, outside of the ratio.
and we want to do the same thing this
Right.
year if possible.
That's correct.
Right. So it's just, you know, it's one of those things that it's somewhat difficult to understand, but it's really important for school divisions across the Commonwealth, and especially Prince William's, which is, we're the second largest school division in the Commonwealth.
Correct.
And for us, that number really is important for us to get more money from the state to help us with some of the positions we need.
Yeah, John, I think it's about $12 million or something, isn't it? Something in that range,
If they got rid of all of them.
if we got rid of the cap
If
completely.
we got rid of the cap completely.
Mm-hmm.
But last year you did enough that it was, what kind of money did we get from it last year? It's hard to know. Okay.
I picked up
All
3 or
right.
4, didn't I?
Does anyone, I guess Ms. Argapor?
Hello, Mr. Counsel.
Good evening.
Good evening. So I believe it was the last VSBA January when we went down. There was some discussion about the surplus, and correct me if I'm wrong. I was remembering that it had to do with the fact that there had been a lot of tax money collected on internet sales and things like that, and it was over what Virginia had expected. Is this the same? Ringing a bell?
Yes, I think that's one of the sources
One
of
of the sources.
unexpected additional revenue.
Okay, so now we've got this, you said $3 billion with a B, and now we're going to be fighting over it. And I want to try to frame this correctly. That money came from an unexpected, an unexpected source that we don't know is sustainable at this point, correct?
That would be correct.
Okay, so we need to make sure the folks in Richmond understand that we can't work on, hey, it was good that one year, are you okay now? We need sustainable funding because we have class sizes that are getting larger and larger because we're having a lot of trouble finding teachers now. We need to pay our teachers better. We need to fund the resources for our classrooms. We need to make sure that we have the support staff involved in these classrooms. I have an example from one of my own schools that used ESSER funds, which, again, not a sustainable place to fund things, but they used the extra ESSER funds to add TAs at grade levels and in all of their kindergarten classrooms. Now, this year, we provided the funding for the kindergarten TAs, but we're not going to be able to continue sustaining the things that really helped the school because this is not a regular income flow. So what would you say we could be doing as citizens, school board members, and other just different people in the society that we could make clear to Richmond that we need sustainable funding? What would your best words of advice be on this?
Well, just a couple responses. Even with all the money in the new budget for the next 2 years, I think on a per pupil basis, state funding is still lower than it was in 2008. So that's always one good point to make. And number two, it is recognized by everyone, the legislators, the financial people behind the legislature, the SBA, everyone recognizes that virtually every school division has to spend more than the local composite index share in order to meet the standards of quality. So when you ask what we can do, it's not necessarily making them aware of facts that would come as a surprise to them. It's just keeping the pressure on them. We need more, we need more, we need more.
Right, because we have teachers who need to see pay increases. We have more staffing issues. Can I say this loud and clear? More and more and more. All right, anything else, any other thoughts you have on that? No, he's like, no. All right, then the other thing I wanted to just quickly ask about, in the news, we hear about different states that are doing different things to encourage people to come into the profession of teaching. I know that there are some sources, grants and whatnot, and I know all the counties are doing things to hire temporary teachers and pair up with colleges, universities to make sure they get their certification credits and things like that. There's things like that in the pipeline. I've been yelling about this for years myself because when I was working on my license, it would have been nice to see a little bit clearer pathway then. I just got to figure it out myself. But be that as it may, do you have any ideas on whether there's some serious consideration about providing grants so that we can connect people who really are interested in becoming teachers, or even people who are teachers who are seeking a secondary certification? Are there any grants that are going to become available? Any talk along those lines?
Jim, can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think this is kind of off topic for this evening, so I think this is something that we could come back to, but I do know that there are some programs that HR, Human Resources, is working on related to that, so I think that's an opportunity for us at a future date to brief you on some of the opportunities that are coming down the pike there.
That's great. Is the state going to help?
I think that, again, that goes to our legislative priority this year, that is a new addition, specifically around those types of programs that we are going to advocate for.
All on board, man. I'm all on board. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And there is also some grant money in the new adopted biennial budget for that purpose.
I think Ms. Jessie and then Ms.
Yes, sir. I think that much has been said about teachers and the need for teachers. I just want to take this time to thank you for being our advocate. You have done a wonderful job for us in Richmond, and every time I look at this legislative priority, I see the COLA thing in here all the time. I would like to know, where do we stand on the items that you have? Are there specific items in your legislative priorities that you see as being a problem for us in Richmond right now, being difficult?
Being difficult.
Is this something you would like to discuss at a later time?
Well, I think Mr. Council can address it as well, but I do think that the priority, again, around the SOQs is really probably the number one priority for us. That's, again, is where the funding is really driven from. And when we talk about support positions, I think it's important to understand that support positions are things like folks that really play a key role with student mental health, with technology support. These are truly positions that are really school-based. When we say support, these are positions that are helping students on a daily basis. So it's really critical that we have that funding and that we, as Mr. Council mentioned, that this has been something that's in place since 2008, and it's really time for that needs to go.
Some principals have told me that for the first time, they are hiring people after they return because teachers are becoming, I just think that in general, teachers are leaving, and we've hired a lot of new people. We have a lot of new positions. And again, I told Donna, I don't know, Dr. Eagle, I don't know how she and her staff did this work, but we hired a number of teachers this year and other staff members. But also during the summer, people were leaving during the summer. Some of the principals were telling me, which is, generally as a principal, about July, you kind of know who's leaving. But there are people in other industries that are picking up our teachers, and unless we become competitive, I think we're going to lose a lot of our teachers to other industries. I just want to make that a part of the record. Thank you. and thank you for everything you've done for us.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you. I want to back up a little bit and start from what I heard Mr. Council say, and I think it can't be said enough because we've spent the past several years dealing with school divisions across the nation, especially here. The public sees millions and millions of dollars we've received in ESSER funds, and we hear annually the cry of why do we schools need more money? And I think, Mr. Council, you summed it up appropriately in that our per pupil funding has been relatively unchanged since 2008. I don't think we spend enough time discussing that and how important it is. But in addition to that, we do a biannual budget, and I just want to encourage folks to understand the budgetary process and how that works, because it seems like from the outside looking in, I remember before I was a school board member, oh, schools get a lot of money. And why do they need to continue funding? I don't understand. They just gave a raise. The governor said, whatever year, 5% raise, all teachers. But I think it's worth taking the time to understand that sometimes there's a locality match. If your locality can't come up with the funding, then our staff doesn't get that 5% raise. It's a lot deeper than what you see in a headline. And I just want to piggyback also on what School Board Member Zargarpur was saying. It is important that we advocate not only here at school board meetings, but at all levels of government, because they all work together to service the schools and to provide. You can't just simply advocate on one level and expect us to be funded properly. It's a lot of work. Mr. Council, I don't envy you for what you do, but I do appreciate it. I also want to say I very much appreciate our continued advocacy from this school division to continue to push our education standards in the future and listen to what we hear our outside business communities and society in general telling us about what students need to be prepared when they graduate. Because it's not just what happens here in Prince William, it's also at the state level. They have to be able to modify laws and change policies and procedures so that we, in turn, can educate our students to the best of our ability, too. We don't just develop everything here in Prince William County. And I think that's something that we also don't talk about a lot. You hear things with curriculum, it comes from the state, too. One of the things that, for example, I talk about all the time, or I've said for years, is adding coding, considering as a foreign language for all those students who can't process a foreign language but can as math, which is a critical part of today's world. But if it's not accepted as a foreign language and you can't do a foreign language, then you don't graduate with an advanced degree or advanced diploma. That's a big deal. So I would just like to kindly thank you for your time, Mr. Council, and everything you do, but also to encourage our general public to take time, read legislative priorities, advocate not just here, but at the state level and the local level as well, so that we can work together in partnership to provide the best we can for our students and our school staff. So thank you.
Well, if I may, Ms. Williams, you just touched on something, and not to throw my responsibilities back on everybody else, but it is important to say, I think, that hearing from a local school board and a local superintendent and local parents is much more important than hearing from a lobbyist all day long. It really makes an impression in Richmond, and I appreciate as responsive as this group has been, and I thank you.
Thank you, because I know we go to Richmond, we see all of these groups, we see all of the lobbyists, but we don't see a lot of parents. So I think it's important, so thank you.
Mr. Council, and the last thing, you can remind the General Assembly and the Governor that the repeal or modification of proffer limitations does not require a single penny from the General Assembly.
Right.
Right?
That's correct.
So let's remind them that they can get out of our business and let us do our business up here.
Will do, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Mr.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. All right, folks, without any further questions, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Thank you, Mr. Council. Thank you, Matt. Mr. Goldfoy, we appreciate it. Moving on next to Student Representative Danya Sharifi of the Gainesville High School. Miss Danya, welcome back to our new school year. Let's hear it.
Good evening to the school board, superintendent, and Prince William County community. My name, as you just said, is Danya Sharifi, and I'm grateful and honored to serve a second term here as a representative for Prince William County School Board. I love the unique opportunity to contribute to the community here at PWCUS, and I highly recommend that any student that is future interested in applying as a representative or serving on our student senate definitely do, because there's truly no way to describe how fulfilling this opportunity is. Every individual involved in our county is so important and impactful in every way, and just serving on the school board as a student representative helps you see that. I have a quick anecdote about the community here at Prince William with the individuals. This past week, I received an email the day that the Scoop article about the new representatives was posted. The email was from my elementary school physical education teacher, Miss Hemphill. She emailed me with kind words that filled my heart and congratulated my appointment to student rep. What surprised me most was her ability to recall me 8 years later, and that really is a testament as to how much our Prince William County teachers really care about our students and can remember someone like me 8 years later. This year, I hope to represent both the voices of students and teachers as we progress towards our new goals and action items for the year. Students have an important perspective on the daily happenings at each school, and I want to ensure to be the voice to connect our students directly to the school board and superintendent. Each student is critical to contributing to our county, and I want to make sure that they're not only seen, but also heard. I've also met with the other representatives this year, Chance Williams and the alternate Christian Daniels, to see how our goals align for this year, and I'm excited to work with these passionate peers towards advancing our goals for the school year that will hopefully have an impact that lasts us after graduation. Some goals for this year is to have Friday features on social media for students or school activities, new labeling system for lunch meals and a variety of different choices, a leadership type of convention, developing a student representative and Senate website for easy contact, and a bunch of resources for students to get involved in leadership and within the community. And being a first-generation student myself with neither of my parents going to college, first-generation support is really important. I want to have just a big database for those type of students to get the support when applying to colleges as well. So consistent opportunities for students' voices to be heard, whether that be a student type of town hall via Zoom, and continue to increase inclusive literature in libraries. One specific focus that the reps and I are working towards this year is the quality of school lunches. Today's agenda item included information about the National School Lunch Week in October, and it claimed that Prince William County School is better quality and more nutritious than before. However, I will like to call attention that a lot of students have, just been complaining just because last year we did understand, the food was graciously provided us for free, so we understood if the quality wasn't up to par. However, this year, since that policy was lifted and students now have to pay for their own lunches, we expect higher quality meals. So this year, the reps and I want to ensure Prince William County is providing our students with the best quality food given our budget. However, we do want to highlight one thing that we love about this is the Farm to School program, where Prince William County brings Virginia-grown local produce to our schools, and that really just helps us understand the importance of shopping local. And I do want to thank the county for making much-needed project approval, specific school renovations and replacements through capital improvements program. A lot of students have talked about lack of equity, in the funding of developments within their school. So thank you guys for recognizing that and making action on those requests. And then I would just like to highlight a couple of legislative priorities that they've already mentioned, but I do agree with removing the attendance requirement as accreditation, because I know a lot of high-achieving students that aren't able to make it to school every day or have, family issues, but that doesn't really necessitate what makes a successful student body. And then secondly, I do agree with, making computer coding satisfy the world language credits, because every student has their own different strengths, and you don't want to prevent students from receiving that high advanced diploma just because they aren't able to fulfill that language credit. And then lastly, I do support the annual salary increase for teachers, as they've gone through a lot these past few years and need to be valued more for the support and work they have done to help our students succeed. So I definitely want to make sure that they get that. And as we are working to approve appointments for CTE Advisory Council, thank you guys for volunteering to do that. I do want to call attention to a specific CTE co-curricular organization that we do want to have some sort of more support or funding throughout the year. More than just robotics or school sports that receive. One co-curricular that I'm involved in is FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. FBLA is an organization that offers any students interested in any aspect of business to get involved into furthering their skills through local, state, and national competitions, workshops, and conferences. Additionally, since we're recognizing tonight that this month is also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, one of the amazing organizations that Virginia FBLA partners with is Project Ask. And Project Ask is really a nonprofit organization that helps research cancer treatments and gives aid to children diagnosed with cancer financially, socially, and spiritually. FBLA chapters across Virginia, many of which are involved within our county, fundraise for Project Ask and hold toll drives for childhood cancer. FBLA, as I highlighted, is only one of the amazing examples of the different co-curricular organizations Prince William County students can participate in. I hope this year I can work with the CTE Advisory Council and School Board to allocate more support and funds for each school with co-curricular organizations similar to FBLA, because it's important that students are not only able to participate in activities like sports or robotics, but also things of different interests that they have. And that concludes my first remarks for my last year as a student in Prince William County. I highly recommend for you to check out our TikTok at PWCS News account. It was really fun to film with Master Director, Miss Weir Nertz, and Master Cameraman, Mr. Lepp, and see our amazing Representative Advisor, Ms. Fayola, and Mr. Gervin last week. Thank you all for your time. Stay tuned, and have a good rest of your evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Danya. We look forward to working with you the rest of the school year. Moving on now to Dr. McDade, Superintendent's time. Dr. McDade.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef, and good evening. I'm really excited to share with the board the division updates for the 2022-2023 school year. First, I would like to formally welcome 3 new additions to our senior leadership team. Dr. Carol Flanard, our Deputy Superintendent. Dr. Flanard joins PWCS from Spotsylvania County Public Schools, where she most recently served as interim superintendent. Prior to that role, Dr. Flanard served as Deputy Superintendent and Chief Academic Officer in Spotsylvania. Also, Mr. Vernon Bach, our Chief Operating Officer. Mr. Bach joins us from Frederick County Public Schools, where he has served as Associate Superintendent for Administration. And then rounding out the team, Dr. Ashley Ryer, Associate Superintendent for Special Education. Dr. Ryer joins us from Williamsburg James City County Public Schools, where she served as Coordinator for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. So welcome to Dr. Flanard, Mr. Bach, and Dr. Ryer to Prince William County Public Schools. We're so excited to have you. I would like to also take this opportunity to recognize the new Office of Student Services and Post-Secondary Success, being led by Associate Superintendent Ms. Denise Hebner. Student Services and Post-Secondary Success was reorganized to prioritize our efforts to ensure strong post-secondary outcomes for all students and better align for organizational coherence. We know that our job does not end with the diploma on graduation day. We must ensure every student is positioned for success after graduation. And the Office of Student Services and Post-Secondary Success will focus on ensuring that our students have a strong plan after graduation. The office will include career and technical education, college, career, and student support, student health and wellness, as well as student management and alternative programs. PWCS is launching Thriving Futures by equipping and training our students today to succeed tomorrow. And so Danya mentioned CTE programs. We were able to highlight a CTE program today, the Brentsville CTE program, which made history. CTE is a critical priority in our strategic plan, and so I do want to share some highlights on CTE in my report this evening. CTE will be a heavy focus for us this school year, and I want to just share a few highlights from the past year that concluded. One, our designation as the first Virginia Department of Labor and Industry intermediary by coordinating the registered apprenticeship agreement between students and employers. A $125,000 grant award for the VDOE Advancing Computer Science Education. We obtained a $133,465 grant award to support the Health and Medical Services Program with a possible $500,000 grant award over 5 years. The implementation of a comprehensive work-based learning plan by hiring the first CTE Workforce Development Coordinator, Mr. Nasir Ayuba, who collaborated with Student Services and the College and Career Counseling Services to expand opportunities for internships and employment within PWCS. This past spring, we celebrated the signing of 81 students to full-time employment or military services on our CTE signing day in front of 22 proud business partners. The class of 2022 job fair saw 53% of the 249 participating seniors receive an immediate job offer from at least one of the 44 businesses that attended the fair. Currently, 61 business partnerships with 20 awaiting Spark approval led to 81 student internships, 13 youth registered apprenticeships, and 3 registered apprenticeships. So as you can hear, PWCS CTE programs prepare students by creating specialized experiences in work-based learning that provides training in industry skills and grows their confidence in technical discourse, a successful post-secondary plan, and their future gainful employment. And we're really excited about what's happening with CTE, which is why we need to continue to invest. So over the course of the next 4 years, our goal is to have 3,500 summer employment opportunities to be provided for rising high school juniors and seniors. PWCS has already begun to increase and strengthen our partnerships with local businesses, local trade unions, and philanthropic communities to attain more apprenticeship and internship opportunities for our students. In the 2020-21 school year, more than 800 CTE students enrolled in over 20 available CTE dual enrollment courses. And by 2025, we will increase our CTE courses with the goal of enrolling more than 1,500 students. At least 1,000 CTE students will graduate high school in 2025 with a minimum of 6 CTE dual enrollment credits. We want our students prepared to meet the requirements for industry credentials with opportunities to engage in work-based learning activities. By investing in our CTE programs, we are strengthening our commitment to ensure our students really do have an opportunity to create a thriving future for themselves and their community. So throughout the school year, I will include updates on our strategic initiatives like CTE expansion that are underway in the school division to make sure that the public knows what's happening with our progress with our strategic plan. Shifting our focus to the first day of school, on August 22nd, PWCS successfully opened the doors of our nearly 100 schools to a brand new year, welcoming almost 91,000 students back to school for both in-person and virtual instruction. And I am excited to report that our preliminary total enrollment of 90,870 students has exceeded our projections of 89,837 students by 1,033 students overall. We expect this number may fluctuate over the coming weeks. It's something we will monitor very closely, and we will be providing regular enrollment updates upon stabilization. I believe that purposeful engagement is vital for success, and during the first week of school, I had the privilege of visiting 26 schools, and the atmosphere in our schools was electric as students expressed excitement about their return to learning. I would like to thank our staff members, students, and our families for a relatively smooth start to the 2022-23 school year. I look forward to visiting the remainder of our schools during the next several months and talking to our staff members and our leaders about how they are implementing continuous improvement efforts in support of achieving the goals and strategies identified in our Launching Thriving Future strategic plan. I also recognize that school safety is top of mind for our students and their families, as well as our staff members. Last spring, we hired an external consultant specializing in safety and security to complete an audit of our entire school division. The audit has been completed, and we are currently reviewing and implementing the suggestions towards safe and secure school buildings. Among these improvements, in addition to the school resource officers the police department provides for our schools, this school year, PWCS is finalizing the hiring of additional security assistants for each middle and high school. 25 of the 32 new assistants have been hired, with 5 additional security assistants finishing the hiring process. We have also hired an additional community safety officer, bringing our total to 7, and have a new daytime security patrol officer. We are also adding a full-time additional security assistant at every elementary school this year, as well as Pennington and Porter traditional schools and the Nokesville School. Although the school year has just begun, we will soon begin the process of planning for the fiscal year 24 budget. The PWCS FY23 budget included additional investments made to schools in support of division-wide adequacy. PWCS made a commitment to organizational coherence in our strategic plan, and we set a goal to ensure all PWCS schools and offices are equitably and adequately funded. PWCS identified some schools needing additional funding where our per-pupil funding model wasn't adequate. As identified in our strategic plan, we will establish a budget task force this year that will engage the community, instructional leaders, employee groups, and student stakeholders to provide recommendations in the budget process. The Budget Task Force is scheduled to launch this month. This group of 25 stakeholders represents parents, students, teachers, principals, and central office staff. It will be co-led by Mr. John Wallingford, Chief Financial Officer, and Dr. Lucretia Brown, Chief Equity Officer. This task force will convene to review emerging practices in fiscal adequacy for K-12 school systems. They will be tasked with the identification of policy development and revisions to bring forward for recommendation, the development of recommendations to inform the future of budgeting in PWCS, and authentic engagement on behalf of the students and staff of PWCS. So I look forward to witnessing the positive impact this task force will have on our students. It is important to make sure that the public is aware of all of the progress that we're making in our strategic plan, which is why I'm sharing many of the updates with you and what will be coming forward this year. And everything that I've announced, you'll see, has been codified within our strategic plan. And so we will continue to bring those updates throughout the school year so that you can see the progress. At this time, I would now like to invite our Associate Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Ms. Rita Goss, and our Associate Superintendent for Student Services and Post-Secondary Success, Ms. Denise Huebner, and they will be presenting a summary of outcomes from our summer school program. We did present in the spring on some changes to our summer school program and offerings, and so it's important for the board and the public to know the outcome of that and what was accomplished this summer with some of the new changes that we brought forward.
Good evening, Chairman Lateef, Vice Chairwoman Jackson, and school board members. Tonight, Mrs. Huebner and I are excited to be here to share an update on the summer programming that was reimagined and implemented this past summer. As we shared last year, this was a collaborative effort between Mrs. Huebner's team and mine, as well as across all offices here in the school division. It takes a team for year-round learning here in the school division. While I will be the one going through the slides this evening, Mrs. Huebner is here to support if there are any questions around the logistics. So first, let's start with some key program highlights tonight. You can see there that we served a total of 9,538 students in the central summer programs. Last year, just for comparison, we had 7,752. So we were almost 1,800 more students were served and supported this past summer. We had a total of 214 high school graduates from our summer programming this year. We increased our enrichment programs from 5 last year to 33 this past summer. We started a new online enrollment process using Parent View. We increased our summer school site locations. And we also introduced some new branding for summer school. Again, we are really trying to look at year-round learning here in the school division, but the central summer school is our support-oriented sessions, or the launch program, and those enrichment sessions were branded as our discovery program. So you see here on this slide our summer school sites. And you'll notice that some of those sites have an asterisk next to the school name. While students with disabilities were served and included in all summer school programs, PWCS also offered class-based services for students requiring specialized instruction on their individualized goals at the sites that are indicated with that asterisk. Here, you see some of that breakdown of the enrollment, overall enrollment number that I gave you on that first slide. So you see that we had more than 5,700 elementary students that we served. We served over 850 middle schoolers. We had just over 1,380 or 68 of our high school students. We had those graduates and L Academy participants of over 660. Our High School Success Academy had a total number of 71 participants. We have our SOL 2-week remediation program that supported 363 of our students. And we also had some students who just returned to take SOL tests this summer. On this next slide, you see some further breakdown of the launch program and the number of students at each of those grade levels that participated this summer. We trained over 200 teachers this past summer in classroom management, our Lit Camp program, and our Math Camp program. We delivered over 4,700 books to our schools that went home with students. These were books that they were able to keep and read over the summer in support of our programming. We provided 45 hours of instruction for each of our K-8 students, and each of our grade 9 through 12 participants had the 150 hours of instruction this past summer. Our K-8 curriculum this past summer was the Math Camp that you see listed here. We really were focusing on building those skills and reasoning and problem solving that we need our students to have. But we also wanted to build the confidence and the love of math rather than a fear of mathematics for our students. So that was a big focus this past year. You may remember that last spring I also shared that we were focusing on, based on the data, what some specific areas of need were with our specific grade levels. For example, K through 2 covered number sense. Grade 3 was focused on multiplication and division. Grades 4 and 5 did fractions. And then at grades 6, 7, and 8, for example, we covered one-step, two-step, and multi-step equations as a part of that math camp. Here you see a breakdown again of the number of teachers that were supported through professional learning during summer school. In our Discovery program, again, as I said earlier, we increased our number of programs from 5 to 33 enrichment programs. And you see a breakdown of the number of participants. We had over 1,100, almost 1,200 students participate in those enrichment programs. And there was a lot of success and excitement about these programs. These sessions included, just as a reminder, Picture Perfect STEM Camp, which really was focused on literacy and comprehension skills through books that were focused on STEM subjects. We had Reader's Theater Camp, Summer Art Camp. We had Performing Arts Enrichment Camps. We had Summer Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition Camp. We had a STEM task camp. We had Science and Criminal Justice. We had Cookology. We had Bits and Bytes Coding Camp. And the list keeps going. That supported all of these 1,195 students. In addition to that, in order to increase family and community engagement, and again, reach our goal of having year-round learning and being that learning organization that you hear Dr. McDade speak about, we wanted to expand our programming for families and our engagement with families. So we started our summer off with some multilingual family engagement sessions, including our Summer Super Learner Rally that featured Super Bowl champion Malcolm Mitchell. We also partnered with Parks and Rec and did some programming and promotion of the summer camps offered by Parks and Rec, but also other programs like History in the Park. We, of course, because literacy, of course, is a huge piece of our summer programming, we partnered with the libraries and encouraged our families to visit the libraries and take that opportunity to read together. And hundreds of our families participated in these family opportunities over the summer. What did our teachers have to say? So this is just 2 quotes from some of our teachers, but the feedback that we heard from teachers is that our students were growing stronger in math and also their literacy skills. But as you notice on here, You also see where teachers are noting that increase in confidence and the ability and desire to attempt to solve math problems, even using solutions or not knowing exactly how to solve it. And that's certainly what we want kids to embrace, taking risks in mathematics and really learning to love that and look at different ways that we can solve problems and do mathematics. We wouldn't have been able to offer it without the support of the 50,600 breakfasts and over 85,000 lunches that were provided to our students in summer programming and the 842 routes that transportation had to bring our students to take advantage of these opportunities. Again, we had 214 high school graduates. And so that really concludes our program. I just want to say in closing that we want to celebrate the hard work of our summer school teachers, staff, and leaders, of all the division staff that planned and led professional development, led the enrichment sessions, helped us hire, provided transportation, those breakfasts and lunches, kept our facilities clean all summer. And we want to honor and thank our families who supported our students in taking advantage of these opportunities in both the launch and the discovery programs, and also who participated in those family opportunities to learn together this past summer. We are committed to continuing to enhance our summer programming and offerings for our families. And we will continue to promote year-round learning here in Prince William County Public Schools.
Ms. Jessie.
First of all, I just want to thank you guys for providing the information on summer school. You know, I've been here since the beginning of DIRT, I think, and I've never seen a program as expansive and extensive as this program, and never ever seen a presentation on the program. So I am just awestruck by what you're doing. I do have a question. I see a lot of activities and I see a lot of data and numbers. Did you have any way of assessing your math and literacy on ongoing assessment? And with that, will there be some follow-up of how it impacted learning during the winter months?
So that is a great question. So of course, our teachers were assessing students throughout, especially in that K-8, that 3-week program that we had for K-8 students. To be honest with you, research says that we need a 5 to 6 week program to really have the kind of impact we need to have on student learning that will roll into the school year. So we did not have that length of time. So while we are looking at that data that has come out of this summer, we're using it cautiously because it really doesn't follow the research about what we really needed. But we'll be looking to, you'll be excited to hear this, expand the number of weeks so that we do have a research-based length of time to actually look at where did our students start and look at where they end after that 5 to 6 week program, that we can really depend on those results.
I'm sorry, thank you. There's some research on summer regression, that those students who are already behind, how much they lose during the summer months. So that may be something you guys also want to look at. I thought 3 weeks is very difficult to get something that's really measurable that you can actually. But I just want to compliment you guys again. I'm just amazed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilk.
Thank you. A lot of gratitude expressed just in 1 year, the turnaround and the expansion of opportunities for students and families, very commendable. Just a suggestion and one thing that I heard, and although we do have ESY, as a result of COVID, the pandemic, and various things, our neurodiverse learners and special needs students, there were not a lot of programs or opportunities for them everything was filled up. I mean, waiting lists galore. And one thing I would potentially, as a suggestion, just like to see is more programs and offerings for, special needs families as we look at continuing to enhance our programs. And we talk about dyslexia awareness, reading programs, additional camps and things like that for early readers and early identification. I think it would be really helpful for special education families, special needs families, to have different programs that are supplemental and not just additional, school curriculum, which is important. We were talking about the 3 weeks, but just different offerings for them, because I can speak personally, it's hard to find things to do over the summer for extended periods of time when you have a special needs child. So just a suggestion.
Absolutely, and thank you for that suggestion. It's a great call out, Mr. Wilk, and rest assured, Dr. Ryer and I have already had conversations about our upcoming collaboration to expand those offerings. So I appreciate that comment and that call out.
And Mr. Chairman, may I ask? I do want to just acknowledge the fact that, one, we 100% agree with you and support that notion, and we wanted to offer more. It was challenging for staffing, and so the reason that there were waiting lists and, we had to kind of close off some programs was due to staffing and not even being able to staff the primary ESY program, let alone, expanding beyond that. So hopefully there'll be some shifts in our ability to be able to staff in the upcoming summer months.
Thank you, Dr. McDade. Ms. Wall, and then Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Goss, for this presentation. I was just thinking the other day, wow, I'd really like to know how summer school went. So I was really excited to see this on the agenda. And I am very pleased with the increased numbers of students that we were able to serve in the launch program, and also very pleased to see the expansion into the discovery. Did I get that right? Yeah,
Absolutely,
okay.
you did.
Because I think, what rightfully so, we focus a lot on children who need remediation and extra help, but we also have a lot of kids who really thrive with that enrichment and find their passion, and then they love school and they go on to, succeed because they have a vision of what they want to do as they continue and grow up. So I really am happy to see that we've expanded both of those opportunities, and I look forward to seeing more expansion as our ability expands as well. I had one question. I'm looking at the summer school sites. It looks like it's pretty, there was, care given to kind of cover different areas of the county to kind of make it more accessible. And I noticed we only had one high school. Have we ever had two high schools, maybe one centrally located or maybe a little bit closer to the west end? Or is it typical that we've only had one high school open for high school? And I guess that depends on the kids too, what numbers of kids we have that need remediation.
It is typical that we've only had one high school, but certainly the need for two is something that our teams have already discussed based on the need. And ensuring, as we've talked about in the strategic plan, ensuring accessibility to the opportunities that we have for our students.
Okay, thank you. That's great news. I know it's quite a hike from for instance, where I am located in the Gainesville district to get down to Garfield High School. It takes like an hour. And so I think that'd be great, if we look at just something central or middle, kind of expand it. But I just wanted to commend, all the teachers, especially administrators who kind of stepped up and did this over the summer, because I know after this school year, a lot of people were like, that's it, I'm done. But, we had a lot of staff who really went that extra mile, walked that extra mile with our students, and I just want to thank them for doing that, because it does mean a lot to those children and those families.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Goss and everyone who had a role, Dr. McDade, in having this summer enrichment program. We always do summer school, and every year, I know myself, Ms. Jessie, as long as we've been on the board, fellow board members, we always talk about expanding summer school, the day, the amount of instructional hours that we can do. And I think having that in mind, and then adding another layer, there's always going to be so much criticism, but I cannot express how excited, how thankful, how grateful I am that this initiative was pulled off, and really in an extremely short period of time. I don't think you can overstate how well this program went from start to finish in the limited amount of time that you had to put it together, in addition to still running the regular school year. I will always commend Prince William County staff and employees, because I have been saying since 2017 at least that we run a skeleton crew. There are people who do 3 to 4 times the work in a similar position in our neighboring counties, and we do a great job for what we have, and you would never know. And I think I would be remiss without starting there, because as a parent, I have a lot of other comments, but I don't think parents in the community really understand how much work gets done by how little people, and how it just professional, fantastic, and amazing. Lots of other adjectives. It really is worth the time to give you your kudos for what was accomplished this summer. As a parent and family, my son participated in one of the enrichment programs. I have the youngest one is very introverted. My oldest was very outgoing. Getting him to the building, it was quite a feat in itself. It wasn't the academic, it was an enrichment one. New surroundings, new kids, new teacher, new building. He doesn't new anything. And day 2, we went from, I have to go, to, that was kind of cool. I was like, what? Am I talking to the right kid? So I heard that repeatedly from a lot of families. I also commend the division on providing transportation. I think another key factor that wasn't mentioned is the enrichment programs, by and large, were free. A lot of our families throughout the county, because I think we're still around 40% free and reduced lunch, cannot afford basic summer care for their children. And so on top of that, you paying daycare expenses. A lot of our families want to provide enrichment for their kids, whether it's at the Y or Parks and Recs or sports. They're out of the price range for a lot of families now, especially since the pandemic. And to have a 4-day week where you knew as a parent or a caregiver that you were able to extend an additional opportunity of enrichment for your child is, it's just amazing. That's something that I, as a parent, have been wanting to be able to do for my children since I had kids or started taking care of kids. So I think that's also important to recognize. Not only did we feed them, we provided transportation, but we also gave them something to do that was meaningful. I would like to provide some recommendations after I experienced it, and I think what I heard from the community is, because I don't really think they're criticisms when you do something the first time. I look at them more like lessons learned. And so before I do that, I want to back up real quickly and say thank you to our superintendent for the coordination between Parks and Recs, the library, because not only were we providing free enrichment, this is the first time I saw Parks and Recs give discounts to students, and we partner with them often, and that's something that we had not done previously in this county at all, and that made a big difference, especially to a lot of my constituents. But I would ask if we have the staffing, right, because I know this was part of it, to expand from a 4-day program to a 5-day program for our enrichment. No criticism, because it was, again, the first time we ever did it. But that goes back into family planning and scheduling and things of that nature. I think that's really important, because if you have that one day and you can't take off, now what do you do with your child? I also would like to see a more advanced notice and coordination between some of our key partners like SAC. We made an announcement that we were doing this. The timing for that, when you sign your children up for summer care, SAC, for example, I'm just using them as an example, they did not quite align. And I know that that's something you sort of have to kind of go through the motions the first time. But we have a lot of families who are dependent upon that. I also want to just take this opportunity to, on behalf of our division, again, lobby our federal legislators, because if you were not a seat in a program, you weren't eligible for summer meals like we had done during the pandemic. And that's a big missed opportunity for a lot of our families who are dependent on those meals in the summertime. But overall, I think it was a fantastic program. My household had a great experience. And I think if we promote it a little bit earlier, now that we've had one run, our community will understand also that it's not just summer school because you need remediation or you want your child to get ahead, but there are enrichment programs as well that are just
just as fun, just as academic, and overall free of charge for most of them for our students. And it's a win-win for everybody. So I just want to thank you and congratulate you and your staff and everyone who took part in planning this, as well as transportation, because that was a momentous, heavy lift to pull off in such a short period of time with our staffing numbers, the notice, just the whole shebang. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jackson?
Thank you so much for the presentation tonight. It is just wonderful to see the growth of the program, both in attendance and interest and enrichment and like rigor based on need. Before I go into more gratitude, I just want to take a moment to advocate again for collecting feedback, if you haven't, and you may have, so that we can grow and improve next year to continue to capture the student, teacher, parent, guardian voice in all languages. And just a little plug. Also, as a special educator who has provided ESY services during the summer, and you briefly touched on that, I want to just take a moment to specifically thank all those who provided services over the summer, from TAs to educators to related service providers. And this was, all these numbers are so impressive. So I just want to join you in celebrating your successes with the division staff. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Just to add, Ms. Rogas, we still have students who take summer virtual programs, whether it's summer virtual through Prince William, right, and virtual Virginia. Students
Yes.
who might be taking some advanced courses and courses to get ahead in their school year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
We have any idea on numbers for those?
I do. I have those with me, just in case. We had 1,207 students enroll in our virtual Prince William this summer.
That's
and
over and
take-
above the 9,800 that we had live in person?
Oh, yes, sir.
So again, what was that number?
We had 26 high school courses offered.
Yeah.
And those 1,207.
Wow.
So we had a total of 48 course sections.
And that was offered
that
by
were
Virtual
offered.
Prince William?
Our virtual Prince
Our
William,
virtual.
our
And then
own virtual program.
Yeah, and then students still can do it through Virtual Virginia, I think. Do they offer summer programs or not?
They do. You can take courses there, but I don't have the number.
You don't have that number.
tonight, but
But you assume there were some in those courses too, right?
of course,
Yeah.
we always have some that take.
Now, for those classes, students pay for them,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and if they're
Free and reduced lunch, there's either no charge or discounted. What's the deal on that? I can't remember.
I'm sorry, I don't have that right off the top of my head on the cost.
Okay.
But we certainly can get that for you
Okay.
for virtual Virginia.
Wonderful. So really far more than, I mean, we're looking at 12, 13, 14% of our students were doing some type of summer programming.
Absolutely.
Include all of those students as well. Well, fantastic. Thank you. I think you heard from this board, we want more. And so this was outstanding. Excellent, very good work. Denise, Rita, thank you very much. Dr. McDade, outstanding. Thank you all very much. That was outstanding. Very good. Round of applause. How about that? Next, we will go to board matters. And without objection, I've asked that since this is our first meeting back, the board be given an extra minute each for any comments, since it's your first summer back. And we will start, our first meeting back, we'll start with Mr. Welk. How about that?
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. Good evening. It has been an exciting start to the school year. Across the board, I have seen increased attendance at our school open house events, student activities, and the 2 high school back-to-school nights I've attended. Almost 3 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of attending 9 open house events across the Potomac District. As of last night, I attended both of my high school's back-to-school nights. I want to commend both Principal Martinez and Bowles for the warm welcome and providing me student liaisons. When parents ask me where a classroom is, I can turn to the student and say, here, help them. So I also had the privilege of completing school day visits at Henderson Elementary and Ashland Elementary. I also had the pleasure of completing an introductory meeting with the new Potomac Middle School principal, Miss Preston. I'm very excited about the direction she wants to take that building, to expand community engagement, to find a specialty program potentially for a much-needed school, and utilize the greenhouse that we had back there a couple years ago for the aquaponics program. Finally, I attended a Potomac High School football game last week, which resulted in a thrilling ending and a win for the Panthers over Brook Point. Thank you, Dr. McDade, for listening to me and the board and other board members on the need for security in all of our schools. Although our county police force does not have the staffing to supply full-time SROs in every building, adding these positions is a wonderful way to move forward despite the shortage of police officers. So thank you. I also wanted to reaffirm my support for collective bargaining and look forward to the passage of a fair resolution. Finally, I wanted to end my night by recognizing a tragedy that befell our division and the Potomac High School community only a few weeks ago. As a father, I cannot imagine losing a child, and I wanted to express my love and prayers to Coach and his family. They have been an integral part of the blue blood community at Potomac High School. Number 11 forever. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Welcome. Ms. Agapor?
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Wow, Justin, I am.
Do me last.
Yeah. No, I cannot imagine what it would be like to lose a child. No parent wants to ever have to experience that, no matter the circumstances. So I'm very, very sorry that your community is experiencing that loss as well. I alluded to earlier when we were talking about the legislative priorities that I had a school that was able to use ESSER funds to kind of help support the learning community. That school was Loch Lomond. And I spoke with the principal about just what that was like. At the time, the school board had not, or the school division had not funded the TAs in every single kindergarten classroom. We have approved that for this budget. And presuming that we have people who are interested in becoming teacher assistants, we have those positions now covered. But in my conversation with her, we got to talking about what the bonus was. Why is this important? And aside from some things I could go on about, all the stuff that kindergartners need, having that extra adult, that extra set of eyes, hands, ears, a caring heart in the classroom is going to go a long way. But she also mentioned that PALS scores were going up because of it. I asked, what was it like to have a TA at every grade level? And she talked about, she didn't have any data. I'm not worried about the data on that. But I did want to hear just what was the overall effect. And this is one little way, at least in elementary school, we could take something off the plates of our teachers. Having that extra set of eyes, ears, hands, and heart helps keep track of our students. We can put them in smaller groups. We can break them into different groups. When we have a substitute, there's a continuance of education going on with people who know the children. So those were just a conversation we had. And I just wanted to emphasize that those ESSER funds don't last. And this is why, I know I'm starting early about fund our schools, but we need to be thinking about what that funding can actually do. In the spirit of our Launching Thriving Futures, we have a continuous improvement plan. And if we were to have more temporary teachers, more teacher assistants, academic coaches, we would be able to continue this continuous improvement to help our students be where they need to be by the time they leave us in these schools. I want to also mention, I went out to see OP versus Colgan. Colgan versus Osborne, and I'm just going to say, sorry, you other two schools. Colgan, good job. You won 2 games. This is awesome. It's been since, 2017, I think. So, woo! I also want to, I went to back to school night at Osborne Park. It was really great talking to parents about their kids and the plans that their kids have for all of their educational opportunities coming up. I'm very excited about some of the parents that talked about the opportunities to get scholarships. We talked about testing. We talked about, Dr. Lateef, oh, he's not here, would appreciate the whole idea that we talked about how to write a good college essay. So we have, that was great to talk to parents. Speaking of which, parents, your involvement is vitally important. Research shows that when parents are involved in their kids' education improves. So be looking for those PTA, PTO forms. Look for those opportunities. If you are a special education parent, look at SEPTA. There's principal advisory councils. That's a great way to get in and understand what is going on in your school. Take those opportunities. I also want to give a shout out. I don't know if Jennifer is still here or if she came tonight. Jennifer Mira, yay, she's here. Jennifer Mira will be on the SEAC representing Coles District. She is, let me get my notes up here. Sorry, we're doing all the things tonight. I got to meet her at one of my office hours over some things that were going on with her kids, and I found out she's a special education teacher, licensed in special education and K-12 general curriculum and K-12 adapted curriculum, and she's working on her visual impairment license. She's going to be a great addition to SEAC. She's got 4 children in Prince William County schools. One has an IEP and the other has a 504, so I believe I've got an excellent person representing Coles at SEAC. Thank you, Jennifer. Before we go here, I want to also give a shout out to, and my gratitude to Chief Newsham and Ron Crow for helping me with a town hall back in July to talk about safety in our schools. I know I had some parents who came who were really interested in what our schools and what our community is actually doing, so I'm very excited about that. I'm getting an eyeball from here. Oh, I think our time's up. All right. Welcome back to school, everyone. This is my favorite time of year, so enjoy. Thank you.
Ms. Wall.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. So first of all, I want to welcome our newest Deputy Board Clerk, Anna Udayate. Welcome. We're so happy to have you on board. I know there's a lot of responsibility in the board office, and so welcome. And also, welcome back, everybody, and to all of our new hires, welcome to the team. We have a lot of new hires this year, and we're really excited to have you on board. It's good to be back. Over the summer, I attended summer graduation, which was a very special occasion. So exciting to get so many more kids across the finish line for their graduation diploma. And I also attended the Triple E conference, which was a really great experience for me, and was an opportunity to meet with many of our educational leaders and hear a very inspirational Dr. Jemison as the keynote speaker. Last week, I attended Battlefield's Back to School night, met a lot of folks there, and that was really encouraging. I'm looking forward to getting to as many other back to school nights as I can this fall. So I'm there as your resource. So if you see me, please come up and say hi and introduce yourself. And I do want to hear from you so that I can know how to best represent you. A few weeks ago, I attended the first football game of the season at Battlefield. Incidentally, Battlefield is the only high school in Gainesville District. That's why I only talk about Battlefield when it comes to high schools. And I also was able to catch a fiercely fought volleyball contest against Gainesville. I'm also really excited about all of the upcoming band, choir, and orchestra fall concerts. I am a huge music fan, so I know I've heard the marching band out there practicing. I'm sure that's the case all around the county, and so I'm really looking forward to all of those performances. Tonight's announcement about additional security at each of our elementary schools has been a long time coming, and I want to thank you, Dr. McDade. Oh, she's not in here. Well, thank you, Dr. McDade, wherever you are. I'm very grateful for the work that went into making that happen and the commitment to making that happen. I'm especially grateful to our security staff who keep our schools and our students safe, keep us safe. You provide an invaluable service to all of us, and I appreciate it. In the Gainesville District, the two topics that everyone in the community seems to be talking about currently are data centers and proposed revisions to the comprehensive plan. And to be clear, to me, the issue is not whether or not to build the data centers, it's where they should be built. How these issues are resolved will affect not just Gainesville, but the entire county for many years to come, and folks should be paying attention regardless of where they live in the county. I urge all citizens to educate yourselves on the data center issue, become informed, and reach out to your local supervisor to express your opinion. And while comprehensive plan changes are not directly a school issue, those changes do have an indirect and very significant impact on our schools. Additional growth will necessarily impact the number of students in our schools, the number of students in our classrooms, and our capital improvements program, which has an impact on all of us. Also, another issue, student achievement is top of mind for me at this time of year. Nationwide, the data shows what we're up against. And it's no different in PWCS. We're not immune to the challenges that are facing our nation right now with our K through 12 students. What turned out to be problematic advice on school closures has led to historic drops in achievement, and the data shows that it didn't just stop. In some cases, we took a step backward. So I feel like we need to be laser focused on student achievement. It is above all my highest priority to see that we can do all we can to help children and families recover and accelerate learning. So with that in mind, I would encourage families to set good routines, high expectations, and be informed on school events and establish open communication with your child's teacher or teachers, as the case may be, and do all that you can to stay involved with your children's education. And to kids, I would say, get involved. Try a new sport or a new club, make new friends, and commit to doing your very best work. And finally, I want to emphasize one more thing. We need to be in the business of listening more to constituents, more to families, more to parents, and not less. The more people we can listen to at citizen time and comment time and open office hours and out in the community, the better. The more perspectives the board hears, the better. And that said, and to that end, for my part, I will be expanding my office hour outreach and community meetings that I hold. And the next office hours that I will be holding will be jointly held for Gainesville and Brentsville districts. And it will be on Saturday, September 17th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Haymarket Gainesville Library. And you can reach out through email to schedule a time. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I also want to take the opportunity to welcome back officially to the start of our new school year, both our new students and staff, our students who are in the building, and our virtual students. Over the summer, there was obviously a lot of activity that we had. Some of it was touched on this evening with our summer school program, both academic and enrichment. But there were also a lot of other community events. The majority of schools in my district received new administrators, principals, vice principals, and the like. So there were a ton of new community events. I tried to make as many as I possibly could, but it was just a wonderful experience to see our Prince William County school staff either in the community, meeting them where they were, or having an open house so that our families could get accustomed to the new principals, the new culture in their buildings, and just have an opportunity to dialogue with new staff and meet some of their other school partners. I am encouraging everyone to attend their back-to-school nights. The majority of in my district don't start, well, actually my first one is tomorrow, but they're later in September and a little bit in October. I just want to wish those parents who have students in, parents and guardians who have students in multiple schools, that if you don't make all of your back-to-school nights, because unfortunately we're a large district and every elementary school seems to be having them at the same time, and middle school and high school, that there are multiple ways to stay involved in your child's learning. At this point, if you haven't signed up for your parent account in Canvas or your guardian account in Canvas, I would highly encourage you to do so. It makes life easier because you know exactly what's going on with your student every single day. You know exactly what assignments have been assigned, and you know exactly when they're graded and what their grades are. So no longer are the days where you have to hunt down a teacher or find time to go into a building. You can get them emailed to you anytime you want because there's easily set reminders. So please do so. We try our best to make the academic partnership as easy as possible for any kind of parent or guardian that you may be. And I personally am a fan. So if you haven't, it's very easy. Sign up. If you're not sure, please give the school a call or check our website. One of the things that I like to highlight at the beginning of the year and always during when a new board comes in, but we missed this during COVID, and that is the role of the school division versus our local board of county supervisors. I am going to advocate this year that during one of our joint board meetings that we could actually discuss for the public how we work together and where those lines end. I think it's very important that our public understands the exact role of our Board of County Supervisors versus our school board, how we work collaboratively together, and who is responsible for what. I think if the public has the opportunity to become more educated on the roles of each entity, then we can all work more collaboratively to advocate better for the needs of our not only school community, but our community in general. On that, there's always been a lot of discussion about rigor and coursework and how we are. I believe it was only a matter of weeks ago, sometime maybe in July, when Virginia was announced as 5th in the nation for education. And I don't think that's anything to sneeze at. As a parent who's highly involved in her students' education, I always want more, right? I always want to see it
more higher algebra class or a more enriched arts program. But I think it's worth taking pause and recognizing the greatness that we do have here in our county and celebrating it and knowing that there's always room for continuous improvement, but we are doing a good job. Our entire nation went through a pandemic, and we weren't alone in that. And on top of it, we had a mental health issue with all of our students and just in society in general. We leave that part out of the conversation. So while we look forward to focusing on student achievement, I also don't want to forget not only our student mental health, but our families' mental health in the community as well, because they go hand in hand. If your mental health is not there, you're not going to learn any more than if you don't have food to eat. So please keep that in mind. Over the summer, I just want to give a big shout out to the EIP program for having a fantastic graduation and for welcoming in their new class of students. For those who don't know, Early Identification Program is a nationwide presidential award-winning program that we participate in that offers opportunities for first-generation students to go to college. The Racial and Social Justice Commission continued to meet over the summer and will actually be meeting again tomorrow. The school board is in partnership with this commission, and that was started at the Board of County Supervisors by Supervisor Franklin. If you're not familiar with the commission, I would highly encourage you to check it out or participate in one of the meetings. They're on the third Thursday of every month at the same location where the Board of County Supervisors meets. And I just want to thank all of my new principals. I think I may have the most new principals in any district for being so welcoming, being so friendly. I'm sorry, B, is my time up? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. That's my fault. I'll shut up, but thank you and welcome back, everyone.
Ms. Jessie.
Don't start working on it now. Too late. No. Okay, so first of all, this is double dipping, but Donna Eagle, all these staff members, I don't know how you guys did this, but I am just awestruck with the amount of work that must have been involved in hiring this many teachers and finding alternative ways of meeting the needs of our students and our personnel situations. I just want to take time, don't take that out of my 4 minutes, but I just wanted to take the time to say thank you again because I know it was a great deal of work. I want to start the night off with sort of a somber note. I think I have a slide. This is William Huntley. I told you guys I've been here since dirt. And William Huntley passed away. He was the first African American on Prince William County School Board. Many of you think it was John Harper. John Harper was the first elected member of African American. His son called me from California, and I said I would make sure you were aware. He served from 1988 to 1995, was reappointed in 2003. He replaced John Allen. He was chairman from 1992 to 1994. And with that in mind, I'd like to also remind you guys that there will be a recognition of 4 women who were sent to schools to desegregate Prince William County schools on September 10th, and it's going to be at Fannie Fitzgerald Elementary School, and it starts at 2 o'clock. I think I'm right about that. Am I? 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On my visits, I did some visits, but I wanted to highlight 1 or 2 schools. Carrydale is one of my new schools in my new district. It's been redistricted. And I have been there. I've been very impressed with what they're doing. And I went for orientation. I just want to tell them that I'm very impressed and looking forward to working with them. They have been selected. They're in the process of looking at becoming a John Hattie Viable Learning School. And I went to Woodbridge High School. And, you know, like I said, I've been around here a long time. And back to school night was different. I think they had a little template that you guys call it a template, Dr. McDade, of certain things they did that were very different, and everybody loved it. I think what I saw most was, one, they gave their continuous progress plan. They outlined where they were. They looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly. They looked at 2 or 3 objectives that they were going to improve. And of course, Dr. McDade was there and Dr. Lateef, the usual. But I think when the parents, the people I talked to were very impressed with the fact that they knew what their plans were for the year, and they knew what their areas of weakness. So I want to thank you for bringing that to Prince William County also. I am planning, I went to these schools and teachers are so easy. We gave them donuts and they went crazy for a donut. Teachers, they work so hard, but they're so easy to please. As you guys know, I give out this cup. I started that when I was a principal, and it meant more to people than I really thought. So I will start a gratitude, I call it the Gratitude Cup, and I will start that tour probably in the next week or so. I'll be working with Bee in her office to set that up. And in this tour, we'll give a cup to a teacher. And since we believe all children can learn, I believe that all teachers can teach. And that's what happened with me at my school. When you believe all teachers can teach, the cup will be given in a random manner. Thank you very much.
Ms. Ralston?
Okay, well, welcome back the coming year.
Thank you, Ms. Ralston. Ms. Jackson?
Right, thank you. I just want to say thank you again to Dr. Meintz and Mr. Miller and the students from the Brentsville Turf Program. It is a remarkable program, and I am again proud to represent the Tigers. I was able to visit all 4 Brentsville District High Schools last week for back to school night, and I look forward to attending more over the next month. I also want to thank Mrs. Jacks of Bristol Run, Ms. Graham of Gainesville Middle School, Dr. Meintz of Brentsville District High School, and Mr. Ray of Victory Elementary for their time last week. I was fortunate to see the new classrooms added to Gainesville Middle and the windows added to Unity Reed. And I just want to take a moment again to thank the superintendent and her team, especially those who working in facilities and the construction project manager at Unity Reed for their hard work and commitment to creating safe learning spaces for all students. Thank you to parents and community members that have written to me over their concerns about data centers near Brentsville schools. As many of you may know, there are a number of data centers being built or proposed or land being rezoned near many of the Brentsville District schools. Proponents of data centers have discussed the advantages given the potential for increased funding for schools. Opponents for data centers next to the schools have written me about concerns regarding the impact of data center construction. Additionally, many are concerned about the potential for noise, vibration, and other variables that may impact the learning environment. As your board member, I have read and listened to all emails and encourage all Brentsville constituents to get involved and educate themselves on the impact of data centers on our schools. I have relayed your concerns about noise to the school system and am advocating for these concerns to be considered in discussions with the county. I have no decision-making authority in land use, but I can relay and advocate your concerns within the capacity of being your board member. In today's consent agenda, there were several resolutions of recognition or awareness. One of them was childhood cancer. The resolution itself listed a significant amount of somber statistics, and the school board, the school system, encouraged all stakeholders to observe Childhood Cancer Awareness Month and support this cause that so deeply impacts families in Prince William County and across the country. I hope that everyone takes a moment to educate themselves and to support Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I had a chance to review some of the resources the county shared earlier this afternoon, and I felt on the website that I felt was comprehensive, so thank you to whomever put the website together. There is also a resolution for National Security Officer Appreciation Week, and I want to take a moment to thank all staff for prioritizing school safety, particularly school safety officers. I fully support the steps the superintendent listed today in adding these safety resources to our schools. I'm grateful for the continued collaboration. Not included on the resolutions tonight, I don't think, was NICU Awareness Month. This is a cause that is near and dear to my heart as a former NICU mom. One's time and experience with the NICU shapes the guardians and or parents forever, and I wanted to use my platform, however briefly, to bring awareness to this month. Just a few thank yous to Mr. Paul Frazier for volunteering to be part of the CTE Advisory Council. Mr. Frazier has over 20 years of experience in working in multiple disciplines and domains over his career, both in IT and on many, many boards. Mr. Frazier is a 23-year Prince William County resident. He has 3 students attending Prince William County schools, 2 of whom are in CTE programs, and 1 is at the AFJRTC program and another as a rising second grader. Mr. Frazier is passionate about the CTE programs and the excellent opportunities they provide students as they learn more to develop future career interests, and his experiences will prepare him to be successful as a key contributor to the CTE Advisory Council. So I just want to say thank you to him, and also to Mr. Sam Chisholm, the reappointment for the Safe Schools Advisory Council. Mr. Chisholm spent 32 years in the Army, starting as enlisted and then returning to college after college as an officer. He was an Army Field Artillery officer and retired Lieutenant Colonel. He continued his commitment to serving his country and is currently employed for Homeland Security. He has 3 children, and 1 still attends the Prince William County schools. He is currently vice chair, and this is his second term of the Safe Schools Advisory Council. And I just want to say also, I thank you, and I appreciate your continued service and commitment to advocating for all students. Last but not least, I want to thank all staff for the successful 2 weeks back, for their hard work over the summer, including those in the KLC, for everything they do to support these meetings. As you probably heard in previous years, that I use closed captioning during the meetings to help assist, as I am hard of hearing with a moderate severe hearing loss. I'm grateful for the accessibility, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And please know that I might be looking down, but I'm not looking at the closed captioning, and I am paying attention. Have a good night, everybody. Please be kind. And one last thing I just wanted to say on a serious note, Mr. Wilk, I am again so sorry and for your, the loss in your community. It's heartbreakingly unfair to lose a member that young. So I just wanted to give my condolences again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chair. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the 22-23 school year. Prince William County Schools opened and relatively smoothly, and we are very excited about being back. As you heard earlier, summer wasn't really a vacation for everyone. We did really have a strong summer school program that I'm very proud of and very excited for and look forward to seeing expanded. To our seniors, welcome. You have a busy time ahead of you. College applications, deciding what you're going to do next year. Please visit with your counselors. Make sure when you ask for your college transcripts, universities are still test optional, so you have to request that your test scores do not show up on your transcript. You actually have to request that. Please make sure you do that. Make sure you have these conversations with your counselors. For the parents and families, the high schools are all offering back to school nights, and there's also nights that are being offered just for seniors to meet with counseling professionals about college applications and other opportunities that exist post high school. To all of our parents, I remind you, please attend the back to school nights. They are fantastic. They are coming up. Most of the high schools are finished, but we have the middle schools and elementary schools still coming up. I've come here and I've always had 4 buckets of areas that I feel like I must work on as a school board chairman, and they have been student success and, highlighting the summer school program and the work we've done to try to do both re-engage our students, recover from the loss that we saw, and then accelerate them with enrichment programs. We're all available this summer. And we're continuing that effort with Dr. McDade's strong strategic plan and commitment to doing so. That is, that we've worked hard to fully fund and commit to, and we have more work to do in that arena. On safety and security, which is my second bucket, which is among my highest priorities. One of the most common emails I get are folks anxious about safety and security, and that is highly concerning for all of us with children in the school division. I think 4 or 5 of us board members still have kids in the system or multiple children, and so we are parents as well and care deeply about this, and we applaud Dr. McDade's decision, the school board's decision, to move forward with hiring security assistants at all elementary schools full-time. This is an added layer to a multiple layer of protections that our safety division and our police can already offer. So it's just another layer where we believe we can provide more reassurance to the public and commit to that one of my highest priorities. My third priority has been space and infrastructure. Tonight we voted on the final 3 parcels we're acquiring, 2 or 3 parcels we're acquiring for the, they call the North Woodbridge Elementary School. So this has been one of my highest priorities. The elementary schools among the most overcrowded in the county are in the east, along Route 1 in the Marumsco Hills area. This elementary school, once built, will help reduce the overcrowding dramatically in that area, and so we took some final steps this evening to move forward with that land acquisition to build that school. We have a couple other things to wrap up with that, and hopefully that should break ground next year sometime. And that's on space and infrastructure. My last category has been salaries. I have committed, and each year I've been on this board, to raise the salaries of all teachers, staff, and we have done that at dramatic rates of 4.8%, 4.8%, 2.4%, 5%, and then 7%. Those have been the raises that I have prioritized and as part of the work I want to do here on the school division as we work on budgeting. And this year will be no different. We will continue to work towards getting our teachers paid at a level that our neighbors are. We're still among one of the lowest paid in the region, but we've made some significant gain some ground on that, and we'll continue to do that. We've done that in the context of reducing borrowing, control spending, and make sure we're still able to do the things that the community wants. And those are things that are in our approved capital improvement budget and our strategic plan that was developed with the community's involvement and engagement. So I'm very excited on that. So those are my 4 buckets. They have always been student success, safety and security, space and infrastructure, and salaries. That's the work I will continue to do. That is the work that this board has been committed to, and we'll highlight areas in those as we move on this year. Again, welcome back, everyone. At this point, I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson to move us back into closed session to complete our closed session work.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that pursuant Virginia Code, Section 2.2-3711 and 2.2-3712, that the Prince William County School Board re-enter a closed session for the following reasons. 1, to conduct the annual performance evaluation of the Ombudsman under Virginia Code, Section 2.2-3711, A1. 3, to discuss with the Division Counsel and staff actual or probable litigation in specific legal matters involving specific staff and students under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, A7 and 8. And then it says 6, to discuss and receive briefings by staff members related to the security of school facilities for the safety of persons using such facilities and actions taken to respond to such matters where the discussion in an open meeting would jeopardize the security of such facilities pursuant Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, A19, and to consult with legal counsel to receive legal advice regarding PWCS policies under Virginia Code 2.2-3711, A8.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Zargarpur
I
seconds.
second.
Any discussion? Do we have to vote? Please vote. I don't know. All in favor, hands up. Aye. Okay, it's there. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. At this time, the Prince William County School Board will move back into closed session, and then we'll return whenever we're done to certify. Thank you. Okay, the Prince William County School Board is returning to open session. A motion is in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. I move that pursuant Virginia Code Section 2.2-3712, the closed session Prince William County School Board meeting of September 7th, 2022, be certified by adopting the following resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Prince William County School Board hereby certifies to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening closed meeting were heard and discussed or considered by the school board.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Williams.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nay. None. So, Ms. Jessie left, so you have 1 absence.
Do I need to say this?
7 yes, 1 not present vote. Jesse?
Okay. At this time, the school board will adjourn.